I personally believe that whenever we think about philosophy, one of the most important things that we need to realize is that philosophy can mean many things. One, if you think of philosophy as a worldview, then all of us do have a worldview in terms of what is the place of ourselves, what is the place of ourselves in relationship to other human beings, then what is the kind of life that we want in terms of for ourselves and others, what is the kind of relationship that we want to have with God if they were a God, and if they were not a God, then would we live a life by certain values. So all that grand picture of a worldview is generally understood as philosophy. The other thing is that when we talk about a philosophical way of living, then we actually mean a critical way of living. And going back to the good old Socrates, to whom we generally attribute the statement that an unexamined life is not worth living. So any life, particularly a human life, is a life where we examine everything that we do. So we do need to fully lead a human life, and therefore a critical life, a self-reflective life, unlike the life of other lesser creatures in the world. And therefore a philosophical life is a truly distinctively human life. Now all times and all ages will have the questions of the same variety, and they would be who am I, what is the nature of reality, and therefore when you look at the ancient rishis of India, they were calling it the Atma Vidya, looking at who am I. Even today, I think one of the most central questions which we are all asking is that I am a person and I do have value, but what is this value that I have, and what are the terms in which I have value? Is it in terms of my relations? Is it in terms of my possessions? Is it in terms of the purpose and that I see for my perfectibility, or the purpose that I see for myself in terms of my engaging and contributing to the world? And so all these questions are philosophically rooted. So the question again would be that how do I position myself in this world? And the important thing for us to realize is that we are like tables and chairs, mountains and trees in many ways, because we are physical creatures. We are conscious creatures like many other animals. But apart from that, what is most distinctive about us is that we are creative. We have creativity. And over the thousands and thousands of years as human beings have developed, they have created multiple ways of living, of relating to each other, of embellishing the little things that they have. So from their pots and pans to their houses, to their roads, to the temples, to the music they have created, they have constantly embellished and carved it better. The suspension of examination or not entering into examination leads to a life of absolute sense of purposelessness. The invitation to examination is an invitation to bring in value to what you're doing. The examination will actually not. Most people think that they are frightened of examination because they think that maybe after examination we may fail, we may find that there is nothing, or we actually are on the lowest rung of our existence. But that's not the point. The point is the examination is actually an invitation to find the exciting possibilities which you have, the immense amount of potential that you have, and also recognizing the enormous amount of heritage that you have in your genes, in your parentage, in your society. And so the examination actually helps you to enrich. So the moment a scientist is invited to look at a leaf closely and say that how many veins are that, it is not to highlight that person's ignorance, but to enrich that. So the examination of life is not to evaluate your life and find that you are wanting, but to show you that how rich it is and how many more things can you actually find in it and explore the abundance of it. So the unexamined life is actually a life wherein it is poorer, because it is inhuman. You are living only by instinct. And therefore, in order to live your life truly and to see your own richness, to examine some contradictions which need to be resolved, some of the shackles which have come because of ignorance which need to be removed. All of that comes with examination. The human beings are born with a promise, the promise to become human. Imagine, for instance, when India wrote her constitution in 47, we said we are a sovereign, socialist, democratic republic. we were making a promise that this is the way what we want to become. Similarly, when we say that we are born with a promise, we are born with a promise to become human. And now what does this humanity consist in? It consists in eating, it consists in making, it consists in knowing, it consists in creating, it consists in virtues like fortitude, courage, kindness, and immense amount of creativity. And all that is manifested in the development of almost all the grand arts and crafts and philosophies of India. And so it's a kind of a promise that we need to fulfill with our efforts. And whether it's the ancients in Greece or whether it is the ancients in India, everywhere they talk about that how to realize your full human potential.